G'day everyone, Daniel Anderson here, Partner Manager and Product Evangelist at Valo, and welcome to this episode where we're going to take a quick deep dive into Valo Entrance, your doorman to allowing VIP access to your company's resources. Now, with Valo Entrance, we really are reinventing the collaboration and user management story with your external stakeholders. The vision for Valo Entrance is that currently managing the external users in your Office 365 environment is cumbersome and time consuming. But what we're enabling you to take advantage of with Valo Entrance is a really nice, easy way to invite and manage those external users for those external access scenarios. Now, with Valo Entrance, we also have available a self-service registration portal that makes it really easy for external users to be able to sign up and log in to get access to the internal resources that you provide them with. Now, a little bit about the external sharing story. Now, currently, the way that you may have given access to external users is on the left-hand side there. So we've got our extranet resources, sites, lists, libraries, documents, and granting access to those external users was very cumbersome. You had to do it individually on an individual basis and share them with some out-of-the-box features. Now with Valo Entrance, what we can do is we can grant access and give the ability for entire organizations to be able to sign up and get access to your resources, and also those collaboration teams in addition to those individual users. So let's dive in and have a look at Valo Entrance in action. So the story is here, we've got Valo Leasing. We're a leasing company and we've got a number of different partners. Now, this is our extranet and we want to grant access to all of these partners to this extranet. Now, rather than having to invite these users or partners individually, what we can do is invite entire domains in addition to these individual users. So we've got our extranet. Next, we're taking a look here at Valo Entrance, and this is the dashboard where all the magic happens. Now, we've got this concept of access units. Now, access units are the container where we marry up our external resources with our external users. Okay, so let's go through this process of creating an access unit and granting access to that extranet that we just saw. So I'm going to click on the create button and I'm going to give this access unit a name, and we can give it a description. We can also add additional access unit owners if we need to as well. Now let's create that. So that's now creating this container or access unit. Now what we need to do is we need to create some resources to give access to. So we're going to give access at this level at our extranet. So I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to add this as a new resource and a link of the link resource type. So I'm going to paste in the URL here and I'm just going to give this a name. We'll call it extranet, Valo Leasing extranet, and we'll create that resource. Now that's just given them a link, the ability to click on a link and go to that site. Now, as we know, in this case with SharePoint, the access is controlled by permissions. And we can see that part of the permission structure of this extranet, we've got a security group called Valo Leasing External Users. Now, what we don't want to do is have to manually add these users to this group every time that we add a new user. So we can automatically do that through this access unit. So I'm going to add another resource here, but this time it's going to be a group. So we'll click on group and we'll search for Valo Leasing External Users. And we're going to create that resource there. So what that's going to do now is whenever an external user signs up and becomes a registered user of this access unit, they're going to be added automatically to that security group, which in turn gives them access to this leasing extranet site. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to populate this allowed emails section here. Now, we've got two options here. We can add individual email addresses. So I can add my email address in here and like so. And that's going to allow or give the ability for this individual user to be able to sign up for this extranet. Now, in the scenario that we might want to invite an entire partner or an entire company, so think about mergers and acquisitions and things like that through that process, company A wants to give access to company B to a set of resources. So what we can do is also add an entire domain here. So as soon as I add this entire domain, that means that any user that has an email address in that domain has the ability to be able to sign up to be given access to this extranet or those resources through our public-facing self-service registration portal. Now, what I've just done there doesn't fire off any emails or any notifications or anything like that. That just allows these people to be able to go to the self-service portal and be able to sign up. So we've now got this access unit created. What we're now going to do is let's now switch over and take a look at the self-service user registration portal. So what we're seeing on the screen here is the self-service portal. Now that I've been granted access and the ability to be able to sign up, I can now sign up using my email address, and I've read the privacy policy and I'm not a robot, and we're now going to sign up. So what that's now initiated is the process, a registration email, an invitation email has just been sent to my email address. Now, if you're familiar with the out-of-the-box Microsoft invitation emails, you'll notice that, and you'll understand that they are a little bit boring and we can't do a lot in terms of the branding. But what we can do, what we have the capability to do with Entrance is really brand those emails and those invitation emails to make it a lot more intuitive and be on brand with our company. So let's now take a look at that invitation email. So what we can see on the screen here is the invitation email that has come from the self-service portal. And you can see here that I go through this process of accepting this invitation. So I click on this link here. It's going to process that invitation. Now, when I click, it's going to open and I can now, it's going to accept that and I'm going to be taken to that resource automatically. All right, so that's gone through now. I've signed up, I've been sent an email invitation, and now what I can do is I'm going to be now taken to inside that company's tenant now and be presented with what we're calling my places. Now, as you can see here, that I've already, this link here, the Valo Leasing Extranet, is what we populated in that access unit. So I can now click on this, this link here, and I'm going to be taken to that extranet where I've been granted access. Because remembering what we did do previously was we granted access to a link and published that link, but we also added that user account to the security group that grants them access to this site. All right, so that process there has been simplified dramatically. It's nice and easy to use, and we've now just granted access to in this case, an individual user to our extranet. All right, so no more individually sharing. We can grant access to entire domains as well as individuals, but to multiple different resources that are part of our tenant.